August 12th, 30 BCE, Alexandria. A woman locks herself inside a sealed stone chamber and lets a snake sink its fangs into her skin. She is 39 years old. She has ruled the richest kingdom on earth for more than 20 years, and she would rather die by her own hand than be dragged in chains through the streets of Rome. By the time Octavian's soldiers break down that door, it's already too late. Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh Egypt would ever have, is gone. And with her vanishes something the ancient world would never see whole again: her treasury, her gold, her tomb. 2,000 years later, we still haven't found it. Not the body, not the gold, not the tomb she built with her own hands. So tonight, we're going to ask the question archaeologists have been chasing for 2 centuries. Where is Cleopatra really buried?
Act 1. The Wealth of a Dynasty. To understand why this search has become an obsession, you first need to understand exactly how much was lost. When Alexander the Great died, his general Ptolemy claimed Egypt for himself, the richest, most fertile prize in the entire shattered empire. For the next 300 years, his dynasty built something no other kingdom on earth could match: a monopoly on the grain of the Nile, the gold mines of Nubia, total control over every ship that moved between the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. Ancient tax records, written on fragile papyrus that somehow survived 2,000 years, show harvests so massive they didn't just feed Egypt, they fed entire cities across Greece and Asia Minor. And Cleopatra, the last queen of that dynasty, inherited every piece of that machine. She didn't just rule Egypt, she controlled the wealthiest supply chain in the ancient world. The stories say she once dissolved a giant pearl in vinegar
And drank it, just to prove she could.
Maybe that's exaggeration. Maybe it's legend. But here's what isn't legend. When Rome finally broke through and took Alexandria, the plunder Octavian shipped back home was so enormous. Interest rates across all of Italy dropped overnight. Think about that. One woman's vault moved the entire Roman economy the moment it was emptied. Act 2. A queen who refused to lose quietly. Cleopatra was not a woman who waited helplessly for her fate. As Octavian's fleet closed in on Alexandria, she was already building something: a mausoleum next to the Temple of Isis, fortified, multiple stories high. Inside it, she stored everything that mattered: gold, ivory, ebony, emeralds, and, according to the old accounts, something else: fuel. If Rome was going to take her city, her crown, her freedom, she was prepared to burn it all to ash before she let them take that too. That mausoleum became her final refuge.
It's where she shut herself away in her last days. And according to tradition, it's where she was laid to rest, beside Mark Antony, the man who died for her, the request he made with his very last breath. Octavian allowed it, not out of mercy. It was calculated. Let them rest together, and the people of Alexandria would have no martyr to rally behind. And then, the trail goes cold. Act 3. The City That Drowned. Here's what makes this mystery different from almost every other lost tomb in history. Cleopatra's tomb wasn't stolen. It wasn't looted by an angry mob. It wasn't burned down in some religious purge. The city itself changed shape beneath the water. Over the centuries that followed, earthquakes, shifting coastlines, rising seas slowly swallowed the royal quarter of Alexandria. The exact district where the Ptolemaic palaces once stood, the exact district where her mausoleum, most likely, was built.
Today, that entire piece of the ancient world sits several meters under the surface of the harbor, buried in silence, buried in sediment, buried under the sea. French archaeologist Franck Gaudieu has spent more than 20 years diving into that darkness. His teams have pulled granite columns from the seabed, sphinxes, entire temple foundations, but not her tomb. Not yet. Every single diving season reopens the same haunting question. Is it really down there, waiting? Or did the sea stop just one building short? Act 4. The other position. But not everyone believes the answer is underwater. For more than 15 years, Dominican archaeologist Kathleen Martinez has been chasing a completely different theory. Her candidate isn't beneath the sea at all. It's 45 kilometers inland. A temple called Taposiris Magna. Dry, elevated, untouched by the rising tide. Here's her reasoning, and it's haunting once you hear it. Cleopatra didn't just rule as a queen.
She presented herself to her people as the living embodiment of the goddess Isis, and in the myth, Isis gathered the broken body of her husband Osiris and buried him near that very temple. If Cleopatra designed her own burial as a final, defiant statement, why would she choose some ordinary harbor mausoleum when she could choose the sacred ground of the goddess she claimed to be? And the digs at Taposiris Magna keep finding things that refuse to be ignored. An underground tunnel over a kilometer long, coins stamped with Cleopatra's own face, a funerary mask belonging to a high-ranking Roman man, dozens of mummies, every single one buried facing the temple. An orientation archaeologists reserve only for the elite. None of it proves she's there. But after 15 excavation seasons, none of it has ruled her out either. Act 5. The gold that vanished twice. And what about her treasure? The gold she locked away with her own hands. Rome never catalogued it the way it catalogued everything else it stole from Egypt.
Octavian took enough state wealth to fund an entire empire. But her personal fortune, the riches she stored beside her own body, the records simply go silent. Maybe it was melted down into Roman coins, untraceable, indistinguishable from any other plunder. Or maybe, just maybe, some of it is still exactly where she left it, waiting in the dark, underground or underwater, right beside the body it was always meant to accompany. Final act. Why this still matters. This isn't just a story about gold. Cleopatra was the last independent ruler of a civilization that had survived unbroken for 3,000 years. When she died, that chapter closed forever. Finding her tomb intact wouldn't just be an archaeological headline. It would mean finally seeing the real woman behind centuries of Roman propaganda that turned her into nothing more than a seductress and a villain.
Every new excavation season at Taposiris Magna, every new dive into Alexandria's drowned harbor, reopens the same impossible bet. Maybe she's buried under Mediterranean silt, exactly where the sea swallowed her city. Maybe she's waiting under desert sand, 45 kilometers from where everyone has been digging for 200 years. Or maybe, like so many treasures of the ancient world, she was destroyed long ago, and all that's left now is the story. But here's the one thing we know for certain. As long as that question stays open, the last queen of Egypt keeps something no Roman emperor could ever take from her: the power to still be searched for 2,000 years after she chose exactly how and when she would die.